little tip to remember. Turn your sled or wagon or whatever, the wheelbarrow the direction you want it to be going before you fill it up with all your weight. It makes life a little easier. In between the roosters crowing, I wanted to answer a couple questions here today because obviously I'm filling the water tank again. It is a cold day. It's right about noon right now, and it's, I think, reached the whole way to 5 degrees above 0 Fahrenheit, whatever that is in Celsius, minus something. Yes, I'm wearing a hat. Lots of people ask about this all the time. The only reason I'm wearing a hat is not because it's 5 degrees for the high today. But instead, because my hair is really greasy. I'm in the middle of another project helping Clay with some painting and stuff, and my hair is kind of a mess. That's the only reason I'm wearing a hat. People ask me all the time, oh, it's so cold out, you look so cold, why don't you wear a hat? Because, guys, I have hair. By the time I go wash my hair before I filmed this, but it's what I'm doing right now and I didn't have time, so that's what I'm doing. Hair keeps you pretty warm when you have long hair. I am not cold. I constantly am amazed by the number of people who think I've managed to live in Wyoming where it's snowy for 8 months a year or more without ever figuring out how to stay comfortable, apparently. I don't wear a hat because I don't like hats, and I'm not cold. I have them, obviously. I usually only use them in emergency situations like this where I want to do something and my hair is a mess and I want to hide it and it's cold. But I don't like wearing hats. They make me feel uncomfortable, claustrophobic, itchy, and because I've put a hat on, I will definitely have to wash my hair, later today because they just make my head itch. I don't know. That's apparently not a normal thing that everyone experiences. That's what happens for me, so I pretty much never wear them because I don't like them, and I'm not cold. And just for reference, what I'm wearing right now is a cotton t-shirt with a cotton long sleeve shirt over it, and I'm actually sweating, especially because I've got that hat on. It's just when you're used to a cold climate and the sun is out, the sun rays are incredibly intense up here at over 6,000 feet above sea level, and it's very dry because it is so cold, so there's almost no humidity. It's just a whole different thing, guys. Back to the water questions, which is actually what I was going to answer here. A bunch of people ask, how does this hydrant not freeze? Why is this working? It's 5 degrees above 0 right now. It was below 0 overnight. Hasn't been above freezing and there was one day like a month ago maybe where it got above freezing for a little bit. But generally, we have months on end where it's not above freezing. If you watch the other videos, you know that this water is it's gravity fed from a spring that's a couple miles up the mountain there. That's what's giving it the water pressure to come out this hydrant. But apparently a lot of people don't live in cold areas or never have or something and are not aware of how a frost-free hydrant works. That's what this is. It's why it's working right now. And basically how it works is, I'll see if I can find a diagram and plop on top of this video when I'm putting it together for you guys, but the stand pipe that comes up that the water comes out of the ground goes a good ways below ground, and however everything's set up in there, when I turn the handle off, it doesn't just stop the water coming out here and leave standing water in that whole pipe to freeze. It drains out the bottom to below the frost line underground, and therefore it doesn't freeze because you're below the frost line. It's way underground. I think they make them for different depths of frost. Here you would definitely want to use one for a pretty cold area. I guess I've never lived anywhere where somebody would install a hydrant that wasn't frost-proof like that, because I've always lived in places that are cold or colder. Somebody mentioned tying this pipe to this, which I think was here so that nobody accidentally run over it. This was sitting right like this when we bought the property. This hydrant actually has some issues. It's got some rust and corrosion. It doesn't seal quite right and stuff. The idea was that we were going to get that replaced. It didn't happen before winter, but that's the only reason we haven't done anything else with it, because that's going to get dug up and replaced with another frost-free hydrant, but one that's in a little better shape. I'm not sure how old this one was, but probably, I don't know, 30, 40 years old. But that's why it doesn't freeze. It's a frost-free hydrant, and basically the gist of how that works is when you close it, all the water drains out and there's nothing standing in there to freeze it. Over here at Fineth. Thank you so much for watching these videos and spending some of your very valuable time choosing to do that. We hope you found something that was useful, educational, helpful, maybe save someone else some time and trouble, or just something just plain beautiful. If you don't want to miss any videos, subscribe and hit the bell. And thanks for coming along on our journey as we build a new little homestead with our tiny house and everything to come.